Big Gay 5K New Orleans, the fourth week. We have gone all around the country, and we could not think of a better place to end it than the city that knows how to throw a party no matter what, New
What?
Orleans, Louisiana. And we are joined by the lovely Giselle Trivianni. Giselle, the 2019 New Orleans Miss Pride. Is that correct?
Yes, Miss New Orleans Pride Queen in 2019.
That is awesome. Such a great honor. And we are honored to have you guys with us for our fourth and final race of this awesome series, the Big Gay 5K. We've been to San Francisco, we've been to Miami, we've been to New York, and we figured we'd switch it up a little bit. Tonight, we're throwing a cocktail party. Tonight, it's happy hour. What good is a 5K if you can't end it off with a great drink in your hand and with good friends?
That's right. And one thing, last name's pronounced Trivianni.
Trivianni, I'm so sorry.
Hey, that's okay. Don't worry. It happens a lot.
I'm so sorry, Giselle. I'm so sorry there. So, a lot of you guys may have already done your run. It's a little later on Saturday. A lot of you folks may still have your run ahead of you. Just in case that's the case, let's take a look at our weather. When we made this slide, it was 78 degrees, except we know that it's in the south, it's swampy, it's muggy. It's 81 degrees and humid. It is sweaty out there. So be safe, stay hydrated, save the drinks till after your race. Get some water, get some good electrolytes in your system ahead of the race before you get out there in that swampy weather. I got to ask you, Giselle, real quick before we get into what this 5K is. You look fabulous. You have a lot that goes into your look. How does that work in this humid climate?
AC all the way up, a fan, ceiling fan, a little fan right in front of you. Because let me tell you, I look dry, but I was not. I was sweating.
I think that's part of life down here, isn't it?
Yeah, most of the year is hot, humid, sweaty, muggy. We call it muggy. I hate it.
Yeah,
but hey,
of course.
New Orleans, I live here. I love it.
You don't get any better than that. So we've been talking though a little bit about what a virtual 5K is. Look, I'm used to being in front of people. Giselle used to being out with people. We know that we can't do that right now. We know that with COVID, fortunately, things are starting to look a little bit better depending on where you are, but we know we can't get together in these big crowds. We know we can't get out and run the way we want to. So we put together the virtual 5K. A virtual 5K, some of you guys may not be familiar with the concept. You get out there, you run at your own time, your own pace, your own space, no crowds. Heck, if the weather, we know how thunderstorms pop up here. If they hop in for a 15-minute storm, guess what? You can pause your race, go back to it. But we want your participation just as if this is a race with all of your friends. We want you guys to share. We want you guys to send us photos, send us comments right now on Facebook. Send us your comments about how your race went. I want to hear your times. I want to hear where you went in New Orleans. Where did you do your run? And the best part about this is we talk about this. You don't have to be in New Orleans to do this race. You can do it anywhere you want to. We know that there's been some folks all across the country joining us for the series of 4 races, and we cannot wait to see how you guys are wrapping up this amazing race series. So please check in with us. What do you get, though, if you participate with this? I've said we've had some great shirts. We've had some great medals. This is my favorite. The Mardi Gras mask right there, the Big Gay 5K New Orleans. Look at that. That's absolutely awesome. Do you have a mask like that, Giselle?
Not rainbow. Funny thing, I don't have a rainbow mask. I do have a few masks. So I know one of them looks like it is a lace black and it covers like literally just right here. But I don't have a rainbow one. I'm gonna need to change that.
See, there you go. Mine is actually kind of like a pearly look. It's all good. All good. Let's look at the medal here. So we have the medal on there. We've got the Mardi Gras masks, the Florida Lees, and the New Orleans skyline. It's such a gorgeous picture. But like we've said this whole time, This has got a little cutout of a rainbow. When you put it together with all four of our races, you've got San Francisco, Miami, New Orleans, and New York. They come together to make a showpiece. I love this because, look, first of all, if you did a 5K, you need to brag about it. If you earned a medal, brag about it. But if you're going to brag about it, let's make it look good. Look at this thing. This is amazing. It's such a great centerpiece here. You got to duck around there and let the medal do the talking there. Look at that. That's fantastic. What a great way to celebrate across this entire country than through the bundle. So again, if you have any trouble signing up, please shoot us an email, shoot us a message. We will get you fixed up and get you squared away. So let me ask you, we'll start a little bit here, Giselle. Let me ask you, if you were going out on a run in New Orleans, where's the first place you'd think of? What area of New Orleans would you go?
The river, along the river.
Right along the river.
Right along the river with the little breeze, the little heat, the scenery, the look of the cathedral, the aquarium, everything. I would just think of straight up going to the river.
See, I think of the Garden District. I think of the Garden District because the shade. If this was daytime, I'd want the shade. All those big trees, beautiful. All right, so look, we'll take a little look at some video of New Orleans. It's one of my favorite places. You've got that French Quarter look, those balconies, and those balconies, they look serene. If you've never been there, those balconies, though, are home to some of the wildest action during Mardi Gras, during Jazz Fest, during French Quarter Fest. All of the. Let's think about this real quick as we look at Canal Street. New Orleans just has a fest for everything. Po' Boy Fest. Is there a favorite fest that you have, Giselle, for New Orleans?
Well, right now they were having the fried chicken fest as well, and I love me some fried chicken.
The fried chicken fest.
The little bad boy, he wanted to have the fried chicken fest again this year, but hey, it's fine. But that's one of my top fests besides Jazz Fest, I would say too.
Of course, Jazz Fest is always a good time out there at the fairgrounds. Just make sure you wear some shoes that don't mind getting muddy. But you get a good rose tea. Oh, it's fantastic. I love Jazz Fest. Great time of year to be in my favorite city, New Orleans, Louisiana.
Yeah, but they have fest for everything. So I was happy. I was glad that when they came out with the fried chicken fest too. Uh-oh. Huh. Seems like we might have lost Mr. Josh here. But hey, it's okay. It's still happy hour. So while we get him back, why don't we toast for those of you that are watching? Got my little gin dirty martini, so cheers to everybody. Raise up your glass, it's happy hour. Speaking of drinks, the New Orleans famous hurricane. Oh my goodness. What do you guys think? This is our recipe that we found. Where is your best place to go get a hurricane? Mine will be Pat O'Brien's. I love me a hurricane from Pat O'Brien's. Jesus. They have the big old giant ones. They have the souvenir glass ones. Oh, and look, also a New Orleans Sazerac. There's so many recipes for this drink, but this is one of the best ones that we found. So yeah, let us know which one's your favorite. Maybe a hurricane, maybe a Sazerac. Hey, that's a great way to finish your race with a little hurricane or Sazerac. So let us know which one's your favorite. Oh, geez. Like Josh was saying, it is hot here in New Orleans. I don't know if you can see up here. My fan is on. It's going. It could be so hot in here. Jesus, but hey, we love it. It's New Orleans. So yeah, guys, you still have time you can still sign up for the race. Even though we're live, even though you should have completed all of them, you could still sign up. It's for a great cause. Get your medals, get your shirts. Hey, I did it.
Giselle, I think Josh, recently had a hurricane in his neighborhood. And I'm thinking maybe he had a power outage or maybe he lost. Oh, wait. I think we're getting him back. I think we're getting him back. Josh, I can see
I'm
he's.
here.
All right. Wait for it. Wait for it. We don't see you. Boom.
I am back. I am so sorry about that. Somehow my computer just decided to turn off, but I have a backup. We're back. So sorry
Hey,
about that, everybody. Sorry about that. The joys of the internet and power. I'm back. I know I look a little more red right now, but that's all good. Thank you guys for bearing with us as we deal with a little power flicker after. I think they're doing tree work after Hurricane Sally. So that's uh, that's something we all deal with. So we were talking about New Orleans. We were talking about what a great city it is. One of the great things about New Orleans is the drinks. We have some fabulous drinks that have come out of New Orleans. So first of all, it's happy hour. I want to start off with a toast, a cheers. Here's to
yeah,
you guys. You guys got out of bed. You started this race. You got to step out there, one foot in front of the other. You did more than 95% of the people out there. So cheers. So here.
cheers.
Mm. So Giselle, what are you sipping on?
I'm sipping on a gin martini, extra dirty.
Oh, extra dirty, of course. Like all of us,
Oh,
right? So, but let's talk about classic New Orleans cocktails. Let's talk about those because my favorite, being someone who loves whiskey, the Sazerac. I love the Sazerac. So let me ask you, Giselle, is that a drink of choice of yours, or is that something you haven't really found a taste for?
I have not gotten the best of experience. Like, it's like an old fashioned. I'm not too much into all of that. I'm more of a plain drinker, but yeah, it's a great drink. A lot of people love it, so.
I hear you. So my recipe for a Sazerac, it's the classic version. I do understand that it started off with cognac, but I go with a nice rye whiskey. I have a Whistle Pig 10-year whiskey, rye whiskey in here. Absinthe, bitters. It's got to be Peychaud's bitters. You can't skimp out on the bitters. Cube of sugar, and then we go with a little lemon peel as a garnish. You don't get any better than that, in my opinion, for a Sazerac. It's the Gulf Coast version of an old fashioned, like you mentioned. Now, let me ask you though about your gin martini. Is that something that is just a nighttime drink, or is that like an all the time drink for you? Is that your go to?
It's like one. I have two of my like drinks that I go to like at all times. One of them being the rum soda with lime, and the other one being a gin martini extra dirty. They're like my comfort drinks. I know I won't get crazy with them. Don't give me tequila because let's not discuss what happens.
Oh,
Don't give me
oh,
vodka because Lord Jesus, wigs will be flying everywhere. Yes, so I stick to my rum soda and my gin martinis, and everybody's happy. We have a great time, and I make it home safe and sound.
there we go. That's important. Now, another drink that's associated with New Orleans is the Hurricane, and this is it's you we talked about rum, but this is like all of the rum, all of the juice, usually in some sort of plastic, uh, fluted looking cup. You got to go fancy. You have to garnish it, but this is like the a statement drink. It's a drink that you show off when you're in New Orleans. What's one of, and I don't know if you're into the hurricanes. What's one of your favorite places to get a hurricane in New Orleans?
Yep, my favorite place is the Pat O'Brien's
Of
backyard,
course.
hands down.
Yeah,
With the
you've got to
soup.
go. That's it. Look, and so here's the thing that a lot of people don't realize about New Orleans. Even if you go there a ton, and I talk to all my friends that live there that are all over the French Quarter, it doesn't matter. We all still go to the touristy stuff. Pato's there. It seems like a tourist trap, but guess what? It is one of the best bars there in the French Quarter. Best place to get the classic Hurricane. Now, I don't know, do they? And I'm not sure if you would know. We even still over in Pensacola serve a flaming Hurricane. Does anybody in New Orleans talk to us on Facebook? Tell us if you know of anyone in New Orleans doing the flaming hurricane. That it's dangerous. It's absolutely dangerous to do the flaming hurricane, but I absolutely love it. It doesn't get any better than a fluted drink with all this fruit and then a fire on top. You
I've
just
never
got to go
seen it
extra.
that way. So hey,
Oh,
something new to experience.
that's it. There's always something new to experience. We did talk about the hand grenades. The like you mentioned, the diabetes in a cup. The easiest way to tell if it's someone's first time drinking, if they are wandering around New Orleans on Bourbon Street with the giant tube O hand grenade, just watch out. They may get sick later in the evening. So just kind of be there for your friends if you see them wandering around with the giant hand grenade of a drink. That thing is it's dangerous.
And a lot of them save it, because whenever you go back to the Tropical Isle, whatever the name of that place, you see that's how little I drink. I don't even know. But you get a refill for cheaper if you bring your cup. So instead of having to purchase a whole new one for, let's say, $12, they'll charge you 10 because you brought your first cup back, and they'll refill it for you.
So there again, tips. I love this. Ask the locals. Giselle knows more than I do about New Orleans. I go there 2, 3, 4, 5, 12 times a year, but it's just down the street from us in Pensacola. So I look forward to any time we get over there. And yes, every time I go hit the quarter. And uh, right now, my favorite has been going down to get one of those 44-ounce daiquiris. On a hot day, 82 degrees and muggy, good frozen drink. That's a good way to get through. A live look right now at Bourbon Street. Look at this live
Thinking
look
of
at New
the
Orleans.
hurricane, not the hurricane, the hand grenade. You saw them? They had hand grenades in their hand.
Yeah, I see it. So this is really nice. So I've got to ask you, what has New Orleans been like? This is such a vibrant city. What has it been like during COVID to see this city who they fight through everything, whether it's a hurricane, no matter what it is, New Orleans pulls through. But what's it like there during this? This is different.
It's actually very upsetting. Like well, now there's a lot of things that are a bit more open in the other parishes. Orleans Parish, they're still, phase two. They haven't, been moving forward too much. My guess is because they don't want a lot of people coming in and bring more virus. I don't know, but in the beginning it was upsetting. It was sad. It was like a ghost town. There was no music. The bars were all boarded up with wood, and it was just upsetting. I'm like, is this New Orleans? Like, where am I? But little by little, we're moving forward. Like we saw in the live shot, there's already a few people going out there, because now they're allowing them to get, to go drinks instead of sitting at a bar. But it was very upsetting. It was horrible. I live outside of New Orleans a little bit. It's called Kenner, the outskirts. So us in this parish, it was Jefferson Parish, we have been able to do a little more than what Orleans Parish has been doing, but still very upsetting, very sad situation.
It is, but like I said, there's nothing that can keep New Orleans down. New Orleans is such a vibrant city. I mean, if you don't mind, we talked a little bit about how you were affected. I mean, Hurricane Katrina is such a huge event in the timeline of New Orleans, but everyone ends up coming back. So can you talk a little bit about that? I mean, and how that was? Again, this is a city that looked like there were people talking about not even rebuilding. That's how bad Katrina was. But now New Orleans is better than ever. So I'll kind of let you speak to that.
Well, my experience, I was barely freshly graduated out of high school. I was about to be 18 years old. Um, so I wasn't as young, but I wasn't too old. It still changed my life a lot. That we um, were out of here that Saturday before we did not come back until November. And then I only come back to pack up my stuff and go back to Phoenix, which is where I evacuated to. I enrolled myself in college, not knowing what was New Orleans going to be like anymore, if it was going to, we were going to be able to do more than just rebuild. So, yeah, it took a while. It took a while for at least the people to come back. It took me 2 years to come back. I stayed in Phoenix for 2 years. I went to a college over there. And, but I would come visit. I remember the first Mardi Gras, I was on the phone with my mom because she, called me when my high school went by with the music and stuff, the bands playing. And she said it was very different for the first Mardi Gras because she was here. I wasn't here for that. But everything changed, little by little. We came through. So, hey, New Orleans is New Orleans. They don't stop. So we're here.
That's awesome. So what was it like coming back, though? What was it like after Katrina coming back and experiencing New Orleans again, all over again?
Well, I felt like I was back home. I wasn't born here, but I was almost, most of my life I was raised here. But it was like coming home, coming back to the food, the flavors, the music, the festivals. It was just like a breath of fresh air for me coming back to New Orleans and saying, damn, I missed it, because I would come to visit for like a week and I would go straight right back to Phoenix, and I would always stay hungry for more. I wanted more of New Orleans. So when I finally made that move and came back, it was just like, oh, I'm back home. Like, I'm back. This is what I left, and this is what I love, and this is what I'm glad I come back to, because, it was 2 years after, so it was a little better that.
Well, and so New Orleans obviously has shaped you as a person, because you've come back to New Orleans after the hurricane, and then you told me that since then that's when you started doing drag, or well, maybe you started doing drag before that, and then kind of got back into it. So talk us through your story of into and out of this lifestyle.
Oh, yeah. So when I went to Phoenix, I started hanging out with some guys. I had to meet people somewhere, somehow. So I met some wonderful people over there. And a few of them were already, drag queens in the Latino community over there, which wasn't too big, but it was, they were up and coming. Me being from, Mexico, I was like loving it because here in New Orleans, we did not have a big Latino community pre-Katrina. So they were like, oh, you have such a pretty face. I was, way slimmer. I was 19 years old. I was high cheekbones up there. And so they were like, can I put you in makeup? Can I put you in makeup? And I would always say, no, 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 no. But then one day I gave in. I was like, you know what? Do it. Let's see. So when he finished, I turned around and I was like, oh, it wasn't what you see in the, in the screen right now. It wasn't this beautiful, I would think, but it was still something different for me, and I just fell in love. So I went out to the bar, and they asked me, hey, you want to do a show? And I was like, a show? Like, what? What's the show? And I didn't know anything about drag, so I learned little by little. I did it for as long as I was in Phoenix, which was about 2 years. Came back to New Orleans. My parents didn't know I did drag. And that was one of the first things my mom said when I came out. She's like, as long as you don't want to be a woman or dress like a woman. And I was like, shit. So I was like, oh, well. So I kept it a secret, through when I was in Phoenix. I come back here and I stopped completely for a few years. And then in 2012, I was like, let's give it another try. So then I did it in Halloween like everybody else. I started in Halloween of 12, and I kind of fell in love with it again. And I was like, okay, so, I think I can get into it again. I did a couple of shows here. I finally told my mom, I was like, hey, so I'm doing shows. And she was like, okay. So she went to one of my shows. She cried. She did cry. I don't know if it was tears of, I love it, or tears of, damn it, that's not what I wanted, and look at it. But I did it for a couple of years then, and then I stopped again completely from like 2013, 14, all the way to 2016. My mother actually passed away in 2015, so it was a way for me to, I don't know, cope with the pain. She passed away in December of 15. By February of 16, I was already trying to buy my stuff so I can start it again, like like a hobby, like something to get my mind off of the loss I just had. But since 2016 all the way till now, it's been constant. I've experienced more things, which was like I did a contest to get myself out there. Get people get to know me all over again. I did a contest and I won. And then I was like, well, let me see. I like the people judging my drag and giving me criticism. Let me do a pageant. So I did a small pageant. I didn't win. I lost very bad. And then I did a second pageant. And then I was like, oh, Jesus, again, first runner up. I didn't win. So I was like, screw it. Let me do it again. I'm going to give it one more try. And then I did a third pageant and I won. So I was like, oh. So by me winning that pageant, I went to a state level and I competed state level. And, I got fourth place, I believe, state level. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm doing good. And then New Orleans Pride came about, and boom, I got the crown for Miss New Orleans Pride 2019. First Latina to ever get this crown. I made history for my brown people, my Latinos. They saw a Latino person being represented as a queen of the New Orleans Pride. So it was pretty amazing.
So let me ask you about that. We talk about representation a lot, especially in this community, and it's odd that a place like New Orleans, with a very strong Latino community, um, had never had a Latino pride queen. So let me, if you would, tell me about that. What's that mean to that community there to have that type of representation?
Well, you know what? Like I said, pre-Katrina, there was not many. We were a very small community. After Katrina, a lot of them started coming here, to help, rebuild the city back. So a lot of them stayed. They've come here. So in 2014, I met some people, and they have a nonprofit organization, and they help the LGBTQ community, the Latinos, especially those that would happen to be here undocumented with no families. They help them get a fresh start here. So whenever they found out that I was, going to be New Orleans Pride Queen, they were like ecstatic. They wanted me to be that bridge to help, them cross over to the Anglo world. And now his nonprofit is recognized by the city of New Orleans. They're being helped with some, funds. There's this amazing person here that works with the LGBTQ community, and she has done a lot for us. She's helped us get out there, get to be known a little more. So I work with them very closely, and I love them dearly. So my goal was to have them be represented. So because of me, they were able to be in the Gay Easter Parade and represent New Orleans Latino Queen, and they were in the Pride Parade with me. They were, in a few other parades. Now, Mardi Gras of this year, actually, I was the face of one of the parades because they wanted a Latino drag queen, and they chose me to be that face of that parade as, a representative for the Latinos.
That's awesome. That is fantastic. Now, you spoke about a nonprofit, and I do want to mention that these races that we're doing are benefiting a fantastic nonprofit. The nonprofit that we have partnered with is the Mercury Phoenix Trust. And we've mentioned this before. This was founded in memory of Freddie Mercury by bandmates of his and family and friends. And the beautiful thing about the Mercury Phoenix Trust is it's a huge organization, right? They raise tons of money. They've been around forever. They're all over the globe. But not only do they do the big picture things, the big NGOs, the big charity uh, fundraisers, but they are also very involved in the grassroots communities. And I think the most important lesson that I've learned as someone who is on the outside of the gay community, I've learned the importance of these grassroots organizations, like you just mentioned, an organization that is helping make Latinos feel more comfortable in a, first of all, right now, and I don't want to get political, but right now the climate for anyone who's different is not the best. And so finding comfort and finding people that are of like interests or of like backgrounds, whatever it may be, is very important. So when you brought up this Latino community of the LGBTQ plus community, this is that's very important, and I would think that you would agree with that, right?
Yeah, it's very important. It's rough times out here nowadays. So that's why I always try to fight for that voice. And the owner of this organization doesn't speak as fluent English as I do. So he's always like, "Hey Giselle, can you help me? Hey Giselle, let's do this. Hey Giselle, let's do that." And I'm always there for them, and they love it. I love them
That's
too.
awesome.
So.
Well, and so even just that, finding a way to connect communities, because a lot of times, and especially with this COVID, we have found that we can be a lot more isolated than we've ever been. And finding a way between communities is very important. So do I hear a dog in the background? Do you also have a furry friend with us today?
I have two babies, but they're in the other room. They're hurricane rescues. I rescued them last year from one of the little hurricanes that went through, but didn't do much, but did some parts of Louisiana. They ended up at somebody's porch, and we finally decided to take them both. They're little sisters. They're half mixes. They're so
cute. I love it. Well, as I've had for 3 of the 4 weeks, I've got my dog Landry. He's being lazy, so he's hanging out with me too. We're definitely pet friendly here on the Big Gay 5K. I do have to say, I am so bummed that this is the last week of this race. It was really funny. Again, this is something that is different for us, different for me. Again, I am so used to, number one, being in front of people. Number two, I have never done anything involved with a gay 5K. And I have got to tell you, number one, the virtual way, this virtual thing is different. It's a lot different. But I have worked with some of the most amazing people, and we have had the best time. And I can tell you that we have a little post-race meeting. We have a little post-race phone call. And the first thing I say at the end of all of these is how amazing this is, how amazing of a community this is, and how I just want to be a part of it. Like we've got to find a way to make this a larger deal, something bigger. I really think that, number one, we're doing some good, but also I'm having a blast. I'm having an absolute blast.
Me had a blast watching the last 3 weeks because I watched every single one because I was like, I need to know what I'm getting myself into. So I watched you with Sherry Vine and the two ladies from San Francisco and Miami. So it was like it was great. Like I was like, I love this. Like I'm so glad. I want to shout out to one of my close friends, Tammy Termek. She's the one who contacted me with you guys, and this is how I'm here because of her. She's an amazing person, and we work together a lot here on Frenchmen, and she was like, "Hey girl, I got a gig for you. You want it?" And I was like, "Come on, baby, let's do it." So here I am because of her. So, and I think she's watching. So Tammy, thank you. I love you, and I can't wait
I
to see
I
you.
I see Tammy commenting. Actually, I see that she also says Pat's is the best place to go get a hurricane. So a shout out to all of the folks that are watching with us live. I know a lot of you that won't be watching this live. So even if you don't watch this live, be sure to share it. Be sure to comment. Be sure to like. We want you to get in touch with us. Kyle Simmons, shout out. Hello, Kyle. I know you've been with us for a few weeks. Katie,
Mine too.
go ahead. Say that again.
It's a good friend of mine too, Kyle. He's always in the races. He loves racing, the 5Ks and everything. So, hey, Kyle. Woo.
Cheers, Kyle. Also, a shout out. Katie has been along with us all 4 races. Katie Mason walking in San Francisco. I know they've been battling the wildfires. We've said that for a couple of weeks, but Katie has hung strong with us every week, hanging out with us on Facebook like a champ. We absolutely love having Katie with us. And I actually see that she did share it, that it's the last week. Yes, just like us, we're excited. We're also sad, but we're going to figure out how to keep this going. We're going to figure out how to make this a thing for a long time. I love this.
Yeah, it was such a great opportunity to do this. Like, we can't go out because of the COVID. Well, maybe now we can a little bit, but you can't interact with people. So this is one of the best ways we've had to interact with people. Like, I don't know when's the next time I'm gonna go to Pensacola, but look, I'm talking to you through here. So hey, I love it. So I'm so glad.
You're coming down the road. I know you are. You're going to come 2.5 hours east on I-10. We've got a beautiful beach. I mentioned our Memorial Day celebration. That Pride celebration is huge. It's fantastic, and it's on the beach. How does it get any better than that? And speaking though of how this has changed a little bit, I always ask, it's Saturday night. It's New Orleans. You're obviously a very, very vibrant person. What would you be doing on a Saturday night? What would Saturday night look like?
On a normal Saturday night, I actually would be on my way, depending on the time. I think it's about 5, so I would almost be on my way to Frenchman Street to work with my good Judy Tammy, the one I was just shouting out, and another good friend, Dominique DeLorean. We would be getting ready over there for our gig, our normal Saturday night gig, which was at Favela Chic. A very nice place over here, and we've had amazing experiences. That we did it for about 2 years until this, COVID stuff happened. So that's what my Saturday night would have looked like, getting ready with my mug and, my hairs, my nails over there with my girls, Kiki Kaka with a cocktail.
I love it. And I was commenting though, I mean, look at, you have gone, I mean, this is an absolutely fabulous look. I mean, and it's bold. You've got the lashes, you have got the earrings, you have got the nails, the ring. This is fantastic. So let me ask you, is this a signature look, or are you somebody who switches it up all the time?
My makeup static, like my eyes and stuff, I try to not change it much. I like to find some things that I like and things that I don't like, and maybe I'll fix this. But once I find something that I'm like, oh, I think I look good, I keep it for a while. So I've been keeping this same little eye look for a while. So maybe I'll change it up after COVID, or maybe during COVID I'll go to my room and start playing with some more eye makeup, or I don't know. We'll see what this next few months bring. But yeah, I like to keep it, signature. Let's go there a little bit.
I like it. Okay. I like the signature look there. So I actually do understand that we have a photo. I do know we couldn't figure out the issue with uploading photos to Facebook. So we do have a Dropbox link. They've posted it. This is Clay. Clay's showing off. Look at this, a 24-minute 5K. I'm going to say, Clay, first of all, since you're the only person who sent us a time that I can see, you win. you're our first place finisher right now. But look at this run. This is fantastic. Thanks for showing off what you did today, Clay. This is awesome. So thank you so much for Dropboxing that to us. Please keep those coming. If I see them, we will put them on the screen and keep rolling. So Clay, thank you so much for joining us. I look, this is Clay asked, so how does this work? This is a little bit different for all of us. So cheers. We're
Cheers
all
to
still
Clay.
figuring this out. Yes, cheers to Clay. We're figuring this out. We are even my dog's barking in support of Clay. So this is a unique situation there. So thank you for bearing with us, Clay. And again, congratulations on your 5K finish. Congratulations to all of you guys on your 5K finish. This is you know what? Again, I say this all the time. I don't care how fast you run. I don't care if you walk it. You did more than 90% of the people out there. And on our live races, we have this. Yeah, exactly. Me too, right? We have a bell that you ring when you go through the finish line, this bell. And I tell people it's a goal bell. Whatever your goal was, I don't care if it was getting out of bed this morning. I don't care if it was starting the race. I don't care if it was finishing the race or finishing the race in a certain time. Ring that bell. Be proud of what you did today. And so, again, all of you guys out there that are running with us, all of the folks that are joining us, all of the people out there doing something, celebrate yourself. Do it. Get on Facebook, brag about it. If somebody says, well, you just walked it, you know what? Send them to me. I'll have some words with them.
It's
So
okay
again,
if you walk it. It's fine.
Exactly. You did more than anybody else out there. So I do want to talk real quick about a recap. And actually, Giselle, you said you joined us for all 4 weeks. So I'm flattered. Thank you. This is, again, a unique experience for us. But we had Heclina in San Francisco. What a wonderful city there. The Castro, a great spot to start. We talked about Miami, and the unfortunate part about the Miami race was it was right as what would become Hurricane Sally was moving across Florida. So again, thank you guys for joining us for Miami. New York, and for Miami, we had the great Dixie Longate. And Dixie Longate, I don't know if I even mentioned this, is the #1 Tupperware seller in the country. So just throwing that out there. We had the great Sherry Vine for New York City, talked us all through what a lot of people will tell you is the greatest city on earth. But I couldn't think, again, of a better place to end this than New Orleans. Again, with you, Giselle, this is fantastic. We're having a cocktail hour. Look, I had a week or two that was awful. We went through a hurricane. We went through a week with no power. I had to go to some office building downtown with no windows and dead plants to find internet. And we've made it. We're here, week 4. And again, I am so thrilled that it's New Orleans, Louisiana. So again, I'm going to find every excuse to cheers. Cheers.
Let's keep going. You know what I want to cheers to? You. You've been an amazing co-host to all the 4 girls. All 4 of us, we were so lucky to have you there, guiding us, talking to us, getting to know us. We getting to know you and your little pup. I love your last name, Gay. Love it.
So it is. It's funny.
Cheers to you. Let's go ahead. Cheers to you first, and then we'll continue.
Thank you. Well, and again, we've had incredible talent. And again, my last name. It's funny because again, I don't think I ever would have understood or had a reason to engage with the gay community if it weren't for my last name. There are 2 ways you go in my family with this last name. Is you either go, I don't understand what's going on. That happens in my family. Or you have fun with it. And through having fun with it, I've learned so much. And again, I've learned more in the last 4 weeks than I have in my entire life about an amazing and vibrant community. And it's important for people like me to get a window into a community that is always under fire. It always is, and it doesn't matter what's going on. There's something in the news always that seems like they're singling out the gay community, and I can't tell you how important it is for somebody like me to engage even more. Right? We all say for the straight community, we all say, "Hey, look, I know gay people. I support the gay community. All right, prove it. Go out,
Right.
talk to gay people, listen to gay people." And it's been absolutely phenomenal to speak with and talk with such awesome people. So first of all, Giselle, cheers to you. I dropped off. You held down the fort while I was gone. So again, cheers to you.
Thank you. Like you
But
said, any
I also
let's go.
exactly. And so, but I've got to recognize the fact that, you know what, the drag queen corner of the gay community is just a small part of this larger community that is making waves throughout our country. So, whatever your style is, whatever your path is, and whatever part of your journey you're on, because you talked about the fact that your parents didn't know and that you had to come out, and that it this was a process, and it wasn't just a quick process. This wasn't something that happened overnight. It took years. And so whatever path you're on, whatever portion of your journey you're on, just know that there are people out there that are like you. There are people out there that may not be like you, but want to be a part of your community and help you as well. So I'm humbled to be helping out in any small way that I can. So I'm humbled, and I've learned so much from everyone. Now, I do, before we start talking a little bit more, I do want to talk about an organization that a couple of weeks ago we talked with a representative from, and that's Stonewall Sports. And I've heard that our Stonewall Sports folks are out in droves, and they're all over the country. But the New Orleans Stonewall Sports is a particularly active group, and they're a fantastic group. And what I've heard from the folks that are part of Stonewall Sports is that if you're someone who doesn't know anybody in town, you may not, you may go to Phoenix and come back. You may move to New Orleans for the first time. Finding a good community to engage with is important, and Stonewall Sports does that. Whether it's running, they have dodgeball leagues, whatever it is. So a huge shout out to organizations like Stonewall Sports. They are one of our team partners. So a huge shout out to you guys, Stonewall Sports. Keep doing what you're doing. And if you are someone who is looking for a community, that's a great place to start. I've got to say that joining a community of people like that, Stonewall is not a judgmental organization. If you're not someone that's going to say, I'm the best dodgeball player in the world, it doesn't matter. Go out there, throw a rubber ball at someone, meet some people, have some fun, and I guarantee you that you're going to broaden your horizons a little bit. So a shout out to Stonewall Sports.
Yay, Stonewall. They're such an amazing group of people.
Oh, sorry. My dog is he's getting restless at the end of this. Oh boy, there we go. So my dog is barking so much that he is knocking over. I'm actually going to let him get out of the out of the room there. All right, we have had everything, man. We've had dog barks, internet issues. We're throwing computers. It's chaos.
I was trying to put my charger on just in case maybe I don't want to die, and then boom, it goes all the way down.
It goes haywire. Maybe it's our drinks. I don't know. Maybe that's the reason. Yeah, exactly. So
Don't speak of how many drinks we've had.
That's it. It's always two. That's my rule in New Orleans. It's my second drink. You're always on your second one.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a couple of the. So you mentioned Frenchman Street. Let's talk about some of the other great areas in New Orleans and some of your favorite places to go. Again, let's pretend COVID doesn't exist. Let's pretend it's 2019. We're all having fun. You're Miss Pride Queen New Orleans. So where in New Orleans, some of the hot spots, some of the places that you would want to go on a Saturday night?
Um, well, they have a Bourbon Street has two amazing gay bars, and well, more than two, but two of them are like the go-to for people that are not from here necessarily. And I used to, visit one of them a little more often than the other. But the drag shows on a Sunday night, oh, amazing. There's a drink and drown at the Bourbon Pub and Parade. And then once you finish getting a little drunk with the drag show, you would walk across the street to the Oz New Orleans and enjoy their drag show that's starting right after the other one. Or, if you just wanted to chill, sing along, you'll be downstairs the Bourbon Pub or across the street, not down the street to the, Cafe Lafitte's. There's so many places here, a lot of spots where you can go and have fun and have a drink, but on a normal Saturday night.
That's awesome. So talk though, everybody knows about Bourbon Street, right? Everybody knows about Bourbon Street, but talk to me a little bit about Frenchman Street, right? So Frenchman Street is in the quarter, but for the people that are not
out of the,
so it's not in the quarter. I'm sorry.
Once you pass Esplanade and Elysian Fields into that little triangle area that's outside of the quarter, so that's where Frenchman Street is. And it's like a lot of people want to say it's like the Bourbon Street for the locals, because it's mainly locals go there for the live music and the bands, and they have a restaurant called That Dog, and everybody loves their hot dogs, and they have a little art gallery place and a tattoo shop, and so it's a smaller street, but it has bars on both sides. And we were the only drag show on that street, with the first drag show to ever be on that street. It was us. We were the ones. And Frenchman Street, like I said, it's not big, but it's fun. It's live. It's full of people. A lot of tourists are finding out, about it. So they're now heading over to Frenchman Street. So we had a lot of fun.
That's
cute.
Awesome. So we've talked a little bit about like wishing that COVID is gone, but let's talk about you and what you are doing to stay engaged and stay involved with people. How are you making it through this time where, again, isolation seems to be, I mean, it's hell on everybody, but when there is someone that is an underrepresented population, it seems even harder.
I was fortunate enough to not stop working. I worked for a hotel industry, so we always had a small, like maybe a little bit of business, not too much, but we were open. And now I am a supervisor, so they furloughed most of the employees except for managers, supervisors. So I haven't stopped working, so I haven't felt 100% of what it has been like to be in a house quarantine full time, just sitting there doing nothing. I didn't experience that from the beginning because I was going out to work. I did stop seeing my family, my nieces, my nephews, my sisters, my brothers. I did stay away from them, because they were furloughed, so they quarantined themselves. And when we first started trying to go see them, we would see them from afar. I would go see the kids from the fence, and it was just heartbreaking for me. But I feel like maybe I haven't had the full impact because I didn't get to quarantine fully at all. But I do know the struggle with not being able to go see your family, your friends, and up to today, I still have a very small number of friends that I still, don't go see much because we don't, we're all working, so we don't want to risk one another. Um, so yeah, the only time I actually did quarantine myself was when I actually did get the COVID. I got the COVID with my husband. So that's the only 3 weeks that I was fully inside. Well, it was two weeks and a half, fully inside, not going out, no contact with anybody but me and him. So that was a little struggle, but I feel like that's probably what the people experienced for months, and I only did it in 2 weeks.
No.
So it made an impact, but not as big as most of the people out here in the country has experienced.
Well, I mean, and that's good. First of all, I hate that you've been through COVID. I'm glad that you've pulled through, but I'm very glad that you've been someone that's been able to stay employed. But what I would worry about, and again, I don't know what it's like being Giselle, but this is a part of you. Being Giselle is a very strong part of you. And so what's it been like not being able to do that, or have you found a way to still kind of engage?
Throughout this whole process, I've only done this right now, like full makeup and, nails and hair and, twice. I did it once back in, I want to say June. We did a virtual show with my Latino community, with the associate, with the nonprofit, to raise some funds for those that were furloughed, for those that had no job and were not able to get unemployment because of their immigration status. And they were running out of savings, they were running out of food, they were running out of ways to provide. So we did that little show. We did it at a backyard. We set up cute little backdrops and cameras and stuff. So we did a show. We raised some good money. We did a little bit of canned foods and stuff like that, but we helped the people, and it felt great. I loved it. And now this right here, second time doing it. So I missed it. I missed my weekly show. I missed my crowd. I missed being there and entertaining the people and having fun with the people and dancing with the people, and it sucks.
It does. It sucks. It's awful. It is absolutely awful. But we are finding ways like this. I'm so glad that we found a way to still engage and still talk to people, still reach out to people. I think that's the most important part. We've seen the impact that this has had on people's mental health, on people's physical health. And again, for those out there running still, you guys are awesome. Trust me. Post it on Facebook. Tell people that you're out there. Tell people that you're doing the Big Gay 5K. Not because we're trying to promote it or anything. Obviously, I want more people involved. But really, I just want people to feel good. I want people to see that, life, we can figure out a way to make life go on. You don't have to be isolated. You don't have to suffer alone. Let's be friends, and we just have to figure out a different way to do it. Let's get together with our friends online. And so I think it was something that we did at the beginning of COVID. And now that it's September, we're kind of slacking off on that. So let's do a better job of that. Let's reach out to our friends, make sure we're all doing okay. So I think that's very important. So we are coming up. I'm actually going to ask our tech partner for a couple more minutes. It's like 15 seconds to 6 o'clock already. I know. So I'm going to ask for just a couple of more minutes. What would you say in parting, kind of as a way to cap off these 4 weeks, because you've been watching all 4 weeks? What sort of great look towards the future can you leave our runners with? What can you leave them with that may lift their spirits a little bit if they're feeling cooped up after all of this COVID?
Keep doing what you're doing. Be proud of what you're doing. Keep running, even if it's just by yourself. Put your AirPods, put your earphones on. take a run. Just do what you love. Don't hold back. This COVID will end soon, or hopefully soon, but it will end. And all we're going to be left of is with a little bit of scare, but ourselves. We're going to be left of with who you are, who you want to be, the future there is to come. So please don't stop doing what you love. Go out and run if you need to run. Go out and, you know, help if you need to help. Whatever it is that makes you happy, go do it. And, just be proud of who you are, even if you're gay, straight, lesbian, trans, non-binary. Just be proud. Be a proud straight woman. Be a proud straight man as well. We love everybody. We're all human. We make mistakes, but hey, at the end of the day, the only thing we're taking with us when we have to go up to heaven is our experiences. So experience.
And this has been seriously, this has been an eye-opening experience in the best way possible. I've met some of the best people. I've worked with absolutely amazing people. I seriously, again, I cannot wait to figure out how to work with amazing people like you even more in the future. I cannot wait. I'm excited about this. Again, this is different to me. Both the virtual thing and look, I am the straight guy that I could say I've got gay friends, right? But am I really engaged with the gay community? And this has been eye opening. So first of all, I've got to thank you and the other people out there that are engaging with us because this is important. I really feel that this is important. But the best thing that I've learned from this is that I don't care if we're across the country. I don't care what you do or what it is that makes you happy. We can come together. We can be friends on the internet. We can engage with people. You're going to be more than 6 feet away from somebody. But Katie Mason is all the way in San Francisco. And I look forward to the messages that she's posting. We have Christina Rose Sailors who says that she misses you so much. And so she's reaching out to you on this. So, this is amazing. There's all sorts of avenues out there. And I got to tell you, this is easy. Right here, what we're doing, this is easy. There's technology that allows us to do this. So reach out, find friends, make new friends. I don't care how you do it. Just put yourself out there. Put one foot out there, whatever that may be, whether it's reaching out to people you know, reaching out to people you don't know, or learning. Listen. That's been the most important thing to me. I am someone who talks. I get paid to talk. I can't stop talking. But the most important thing so far for me is when I do stop talking, I've listened, I've learned, and I think that's something we can all do. So before we leave, I do want to first of all shout out the Mercury Phoenix Trust, our amazing charity partner. Their work doesn't stop. We've only done 4 weeks of this. They have done years and years of this.
Right.
So cheers to the Mercury Phoenix Trust. Please stay involved with them. Please help them out. They are doing amazing work, looking for a cure for AIDS. I've mentioned it before. What an amazing thing that will be when we are able to say there's a cure for AIDS out there. That's incredible. But then cheers to you guys. I've saved my last awesome, that's more than a sip, but whatever. I've saved that for you guys. All of you out there watching this, running, engaging with us, and of course, my lovely co-host. Cheers to you. I cannot wait to hang out with you again. If you ever come to Pensacola or the next time I'm in New Orleans, the first round is on me. I'll get you that gin martini. I'll have a Sazerac in hand, and we will cheers in person. I can't wait for it.
We shall. Yes, next time.
So, again, this is the end of our road for now. It's just goodbye for now. We're gonna go back, figure out how we can keep this going, how we can work to make this a bigger and better way for everybody to come together. I want to do these in person. I hope that next year we're able to travel the country and put these on. But if not, we've got this. We've got each other.
I'm on it too. I love to do it again in person, virtual. However, it's been such a great fun experience.
And I'm going to hold you to that. I'm going to hold you to that.
Please do. And if anyone
So
there wants to reach out to us on Facebook, Giselle Trivianni, reach out to me if you want to talk, if you need a listener, if you need whatever you need. We're here for you. I'm here for you. I speak for myself. I'm here for you. Add me on Facebook. Find me. We'll be friends. I love talking.
Likewise. And I mean, I'll tell you, I'm on Facebook. You can find me, and it's all of me. It is. I'm not someone who's going to have the personality on Facebook and something different. You can look back. I worked for the Republican Party years ago. Yes. So, like, seriously, and it's all on there. But I'm not gonna run from that. I've learned so much. I've grown so much, and again, even in these last 4 weeks, I've learned so much about, to me, one of the most amazing communities out there. So, cheers to you guys. Thank you for letting me be a part of this, and I cannot wait to see you guys again, virtually, in person, whatever it is. We're gonna do this. So, cheers. Be safe. Love the olive. And good night from the Big Gay 5K.
Thank you, Josh. It was great.
Thank you.